What's up, guys? It's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be really interesting. We're actually talking about this idea of being fat and fit and if that's possible, scientifically. I did study nutrition in college and have a degree from San Jose State, so I am a nutritionist and I like to post videos all about health, fitness, nutrition, and commentary. So if that interests you at all, please hit the subscribe button. But before we dive into today's video, I would just like to give a couple quick disclosures. Number one being, this is not meant to be fat phobic, this is not meant to be hate, this is not meant to be fat shaming in any way, and I do not condone bullying, harassment of anyone mentioned in this video or anyone that participates in these movements. Please do not send that to anyone. It is just not okay and not something that I am in support of, so don't do it. I'd also like to say that I, did some research for this video. I read a lot of articles. I also watched one of Greg Doucet's videos, as well as Kiana Desherty. I think I said her name right. If not, let me know. And Obese to Beast. I love all their channels and have been watching their videos for a while, so I encourage you to definitely watch their videos as well. All right, so what really got me interested in this topic and got me thinking I wanted to make a video on this was hearing about Tess Holliday and seeing some of her Instagram posts and just seeing her in the news. If you haven't heard of her, she is probably the most famous plus size model in the world, if it's not too far to say. She is hugely popular online and she's been in the spotlight for a while now. She is a radical healthy at every size movement supporter, and she is, on the far side of the spectrum when it comes to supporting this movement and, fighting for what they believe in. She has also been on the cover of Cosmo, and the title, I believe, I'll put it up here, it was 300 pounds and healthy. And she's definitely sparked a lot of controversy, with her weight and what she promotes online and how it affects young people around the world. I'd also like to touch on, some of the more recent Cosmo covers. There was a couple in January of 2021. So this year, I'll also put them up for you guys to see, but it's clear that, they're showing people of many different body shapes, and frankly, some of them, are overweight, and that's okay. It's great to have more representation, I feel like, in the media, because that's something that we don't see often. But the title again of this cover was "This is Healthy," and it was a photo, as you can see, of somebody who is a bit overweight. And this sparks that idea again: can you be obese and healthy at the same time? This is something that, the healthy at every size movement, that body positivity movement, that Tess Holliday are pushing, and they are on the, like I said, far side of the spectrum where they think, this is 100% fact. You can be any weight, any shape, any size, and you can still be healthy. But scientifically, this is not true. And I know Cosmo was just going for the attention. They clearly knew that this sort of title, both for Tess Holliday a couple of years ago and the more recent ones, will create controversy. They'll catch people's attention. They'll get people talking about them 100%. And they'll get people like me making videos about it. So I can't hate on them for that. But what I do have an issue with is how they went about stating this and representing this idea that's frankly not true. And for younger audiences, for, young girls who are looking up to people in the media, maybe Tess Holliday, other plus size models, for them to be pushing this idea that's a lie, it's really hard to see, and I believe damaging, as many I'm sure can agree. It can't be healthy for young women or young men to see this sort of thing, hear this sort of thing, and think, oh yeah, my doctor's telling me this, but this movement says I can be this way. All these other people are living this way. They look like me. They look like this, and they're healthy. So what's the issue? You know, why are the doctors fat shaming me? Why are they fat phobic? Why do they have this problem with my weight when, you know, in reality, they're just doing their job? I know the whole purpose of the most recent Cosmo covers were to say, you know, you can be any size and you can be healthy, and that's all right, because if you're working to better yourself, you're, you know, eating well and you're working out, then no matter your size, you can be healthy. But the problem is that most people, you know, that look like that, they aren't healthy and they aren't bettering themselves. They see these other people that look like this and act this way, and they think it's quite all right, that it's not going to hurt them in the long run. And again, it's the young audience that is getting the most damage from this, that's for sure. And the fact is, you know, obesity is a disease. It's a disease, and it is not a cosmetic concern. Period. So something that's really interesting, when I was, you know, doing my research for this video, I was watching a lot about Tess Holliday and reading a lot about Tess Holliday, and I noticed that earlier this week she actually announced on her Twitter that she has an ED, that she's anorexic, and she is really, really set on her diagnosis, on this being fact. Yeah, so she came out on Twitter and said, oh, I have an ED, I've been struggling with anorexia nervosa, I was diagnosed, and I've been dealing with this my whole life. She went on Twitter, she was attacking people who said that it wasn't true. She said she was being a representation for all the people who are fat and also had an ED. She went on live talk shows. She's really gone above and beyond to get this out there and claim that she's doing it to help others. Frankly, I have a problem with it, and I think many do, because she doesn't have the symptoms of somebody who has anorexia. She just doesn't. And I'll share some of the symptoms here. You know, number one is being extremely underweight. She's not. Number two is having an aversion to food, to gaining weight, to getting fat, having a fear of gaining weight and getting fat. Her whole image online is her promoting being fat and being happy and loving being fat and, you know, being a fat girl that's beautiful, like everywhere on her Instagram. You have to, I'll show some videos, but she even painted her nails. They said, you know, fat girl, like she has embraced this above and beyond. Her image is being obese. It's being 300 pounds and representing that to everyone else who looks like her. And then she goes so far as to say, oh, I've actually been dealing with anorexia my entire life. After the countless videos of her eating online, of her, you know, stuffing her face with pizza and cake and all these things, was that all a lie? I mean, come on, Tess, like, what, was this all fake? Was this a huge fake facade that you put on and just created this whole persona that's not real, so everything you've done online has been a lie, and all this representation for these people feeling the same way was a lie? Or are you lying about the anorexia? And if you're lying about the anorexia, why? Either way, she doesn't look like a good person in this circumstance. I know somebody's going to say it, so, you know, atypical anorexia does exist. They're, you know, normal or above weight, but they have the same disorder. But again, I'd like to highlight fear of gaining weight and fear of eating, fear of food, all these things that she doesn't show the symptoms of. You know, there's just countless images and clips of her eating. And as somebody who did have an ED for years, I can just say it's not how I acted, that's for sure. I ate in private. I did so many weird things because I was struggling with eating and how to eat and whatnot. So I just can't imagine her, you know, claiming this and this being true with her whole online persona. Either one is a lie or the other. There's just no way around it. And the last thing I'll say about this, because I don't want to, harp on it too much, is just that it's disrespectful. I feel like she is grabbing for attention and she's disrespecting people who actually had EDs, who have struggled with them, because they are serious, they're real, they're damaging, they're life-threatening. I do want to say, to kind of end on Tess, I think she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she has amazing style, and she is a great representation when you just look at images of her for young people who don't have somebody who looks like them that's typically in the media. I don't think there's a problem with, plus size models in any way, and frankly, it's great to see. It's great to see them on the cover of magazines, but when it comes to everything she is spouting, everything she's saying, everything she represents, that's where I have an issue. In researching for this topic, I came across this psychologist. She goes by the Fat Sex Therapist on Instagram, so if anybody wants to read up on her, watch some of her content, definitely go check it out. And this psychologist claims that she is fighting against fat phobia, that she is a huge supporter of fat acceptance, and strongly believes you can be fat and healthy. Again, she is on the far side of the spectrum when it comes to this movement. Why can't we just meet in the middle? And she actually goes so far as to say in her videos, in her articles, that, anyone who tells you you need to lose weight or, you need to change your body to become more healthy is a misogynist, is a racist, is a homophobe, and is a fatphobe. And, just calling people these names, it kind of backs them into a corner, and people are going to stop speaking out against her. But frankly, there's no reason to call people this. She's just, taking what other people she claims are doing to her, calling her fat, and doing it to everyone else. She has also, compared fitness trainers to Nazis, specifically child trainers. She's called them Nazis. She also went so far as to say there was a school shooting, and the school shooter happened to be a fitness trainer. As soon as Sonalee heard this, she took to the internet to say, oh, I'm not surprised, another school shooter, and they're a fitness trainer. Like, I told you guys they were Nazis. Like, what? Kind of insanity. It feels to me like she blames everything wrong with the world on fit people. Just gotta take a deep sigh because I'm not really sure what else to say. I could probably make a whole video on her. She is crazy. She is a character, that's for sure. And she's got a lot of absurd views. Next, I wanted to, acknowledge just some of the realities of being obese, because I feel like people are so quick to call somebody fat phobic and to deny all of these things. They need to be said. So, the reality is being obese or morbidly obese can shorten your life drastically. You could lose 20 years of life. And some of the huge consequences of long-term obesity or morbid obesity are death, like I said, high blood pressure, problems with your heart, type 2 diabetes, strokes. There's so many things that can just damage you long-term. It's crazy to think people don't even want to acknowledge that this is a disease. They really think that this is, a cosmetic choice not a choice, but a cosmetic issue. And it's not a cosmetic issue in any way. It's, frankly, obesity is a disease. Being in such unprecedented times right now, the reality of living in a pandemic, so many people's lives have been negatively affected health-wise. So many people have gained weight and have been struggling with their weight because gyms were closed, because you weren't really allowed to go outside. You had to wear masks everywhere. The world made being healthy, exercising really hard this last year, and that's something we all need to acknowledge. And move on from. Personally, I had a really hard time working out, even though I love working out. And so I can just understand people on the other side of the spectrum who don't really like working out and having so many things make it so difficult to do, they probably just didn't do it. So like I said, unprecedented times of people gaining weight and dealing with such a crazy situation in the world, and obese and morbidly obese, overweight individuals are 84% more likely to die from coronavirus. That's a fact. Yet we have these people in the media presenting obesity and presenting, being 300 pounds and healthy to children, to young adults, and saying that there isn't a problem if you look like this, that you can look like this and you can live forever. You're healthy and fat. That's where I have the problem, just these covers, the Cosmo covers, the beginning of this year after such an unprecedented year, they just seem so ill-informed and dangerous to young people, for them to see, for this to be promoted in the world. So, the whole point of this video, the whole reasoning behind making it is I wanted to address the idea of being fat and fit. Scientifically, can you be fat and fit? The answer is no, you can't. You cannot be fat and fit. You cannot be obese and healthy. It's not possible, Like I've said a few times in this video, obesity is a disease. It's not a cosmetic issue. On average, if you are overweight, you are not healthy, and you won't live a long life. Similar to, people who are bodybuilders and they pump their body with all these steroids, they are not healthy and they're not going to live a long life if they do this to themselves for years. Another comparison could be alcoholics. Drinking alcohol every day for years is not healthy, and it's going to shave years off your life. Just like eating junk food for years will shave years off your life. It's damaging. Obesity is disease. Being fat and having a lot of fat on your body is a disease. It's seriously hard for your body. It causes so much inflammation and damage to your cells. And that's just a fact. This is not meant to be fatphobic. This is not, fat shaming in any way. And everyone deserves to be happy, to feel beautiful, to feel worthy, to get love. Like, all of these things are deserved by everyone. No matter your shape, no matter your size, no matter your color, anything. Like, this is not the issue, and it shouldn't be so polarized as people attacking other people because of what they look like. That's not the problem here. The problem with this movement is that it's promoting living unhealthy, and it's promoting unhealthy body risks. And that, to me, is not body positivity. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed researching for it. It was really interesting and really fun to make. I definitely think this is a hot topic and, like I said, so polarizing. So please do not take what I said in the wrong way, because this was not meant to be fat shaming. This was not meant to be fatphobic, and I do not promote or, want anyone to do this. Do not harass or bully anyone mentioned or any of these movements in any way, please. With that said, I am just gonna end the video here, and I love your face. If you want to see more of mine, then definitely click the subscribe button and we can hang out. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.